Yeah. Dude, that's
how you
awesome.
fix that.
Yes.
That's another great comeback putt, okay? All right, so what's up, guys? Chris Lee back with another Just Throw a Disc Golf video. Hey, check this out. What I'm going to be doing in this video is pretty much just kind of reviewing and I guess you can say evaluating my putting and kind of where it's come up to this point. Basically, I am approaching my 1-year anniversary in disc golf, and I just feel like my putting has become my bread and butter. So with that being said, we're going to kind of talk about it a little bit and see what I do good and what I do bad. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the video. Okay, so let's just go ahead and pull up a video really quick. All right, so we're going to start off with a video that I'm putting from the knee. Really being the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want to talk about a whole lot about putting from the knee, but I do think it has helped me a lot in my putting game when I run into situations to where I have a low ceiling with branches, you know, and things like that. And I believe that you can hit more putts if you have a low ceiling like branches or something, you know, kind of stopping you from up high. If you just get down and take a knee and try to make that putt, you'll be able to actually make those putts from a knee instead of trying to forcefully squat down really low or deep and try to force yourself to do like a straddle putt or something like that. So we're just going to look at some of my putts in general, but this is going to be one in particular that's from the knee, and I want to show you something, okay? So check it out. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. Now, one thing that's going to be a noticeable difference is actually following through. Now, of course, both of my putts are online, but you're going to see the difference between, you know, just kind of flicking it in there quickly and letting my arm drop versus me actually following through and holding my arm, okay? And something that's going to be super important is actually fully extending your arm and holding your arm out until you make the putt, okay? So let's check this one out. There we go. So as you can see, before I even made the putt, one thing that I'm doing that's super important is basically focusing on my routine. I'm raising up my hand, getting my arm lined up. I'm seeing it before I actually make the putt. So let's do it again. Your routine is super important if you actually want to make more putts, okay? There we go. All right, so I'm lined up. I see it. I'm getting my arm lined up. I'm getting my focus locked in. I'm making sure that I'm balanced, and I'm making a putt. Now, watch this second putt. This second putt, I'm going to do the same thing, but you're going to see something slightly different. I'm going to be lined up, but you're going to see me be more confident in committing to the putt. I'm going to fully extend my arm and make sure that I kind of snap that putter into the basket. Check it out. There we go. Notice that my arm is still up. My arm is fully extended, and you're seeing the flick of my wrist, okay? That flick of the wrist is going to be the difference maker when it comes to you trying to make your putts, okay? I'm putting myself online. I got my arm pretty much lined up with the basket. Now, check this out. This is something that I try to tell my son all the time. Now, even though I'm on my knees and I'm making this putt, doing like a kneeling putt, when you line up, you still want to line yourself up with the basket. I like to line up my shoulder in line with the basket. That way, when I fully extend, say if the camera's the basket, then I know for a fact that my release point is going to go straight up in line with the basket, which means that I shouldn't be shooting left of the basket. I shouldn't be shooting right of the basket. If you are finding that every time you're putting to one side of the basket, then that just means, and it's consistent, that means that you need to adjust your angle to be more lined up, your arm full extended to the basket, and then you'll start to get more release points straight to the basket, okay? So let's look at it one more time. Here's the first one. Always going through my routine. No matter how close I am, go through your routine and see it in your mind before you putt. Okay, look at it. I just flicked it into the basket. I was on line. I was confident where my line was. But if you notice, it came more this way. Okay, right here to the left of the basket. Me not fully extending can actually, it could have hurt me and I could have missed this putt. All right. But if you get yourself online and keep your hand up and fully extend it with that snap, it's going to ensure that your disc is going to reach the maximum velocity that it's supposed to, or the proper velocity that it's supposed to go ahead and make its way to the basket, whether that's 25 feet, 50 feet, whatever the case may be. You want to be able to make sure that you fully commit and try to make that putt. We're not trying to baby it, but we're not trying to throw it hard either, okay? Now watch this one.
There we go.
There's just something about that confident release. It's almost like I knew this was money. It's more in line, okay? Okay, even this one. This one is about, I think this one's about 45 to 50 feet, okay? Let's see what I do. I'm going through my routine. Let me slide this over some. You see me go through my routine, and this is really important to try to make this putt, okay? Locked in, and I'm releasing. Now, if you notice with my putt, when you see this little movement right there, that means that I had a slight little hesitation because I tried to baby the putt. Okay, I just wanted to be gentle. Now, the reason why I wanted to be gentle was because behind this basket, there's a hill that rolls down. If your putter hits the ground and turn into a roller, basically it can roll past the sidewalk or onto the sidewalk, being OB or whatever, okay? Here, I always tell my son to do something called putt for your next putt. And what that simply means is that I can zip this putt straight into this basket or toward this basket all I want. But if I put too much heat on it, this putter is going to shoot 40 to 50 feet past the basket, ultimately giving me a longer putt or a putt that's just as long. I don't want to do that. So I either want to kind of baby the putt enough to be safe enough to either just hit the basket and kind of fall somewhere near the basket within 15 feet, or I want to do a hyzer putt to go ahead and make sure that I'm going to take the proper angle to make me hyzer in to the basket from the left. That way my disc can kind of come up at an angle and fall down to the ground versus shooting far past the basket, okay? That'll be really key when you have situations to where like you have only a foot or two behind a basket. Like you don't want to necessarily try to putt really hard in a circumstance like that, because if you miss, you're going OB. No ifs, ands, buts about it. If you kind of hyzer it, then you have a chance of the disc coming in at a hyzered angle and being able to fade down toward the basket. That way you have a better chance of it actually still landing in bounds and kind of hitting the basket and falling back this way versus shooting straight past the basket and going OB. I'm doing a slight hyzered angle and I'm not putting as hard because I want to make sure that I come down and fall somewhere close enough to make this putt. Now, I'm always working on my angles so I can try to go ahead and make more putts, and it helps me out a lot. I tend to get a lot of these hyzer shots to fall within the basket, but if it's in a certain or specific range, what I like to do is just putt straight at it. I just try not to putt as hard, okay? I'm extending my arm, okay? And that's what's helping me make this putt. Notice my left leg is coming off the ground and I'm putting ballerina style. When you tend to putt with your feet on the ground, it tends to give you, it tends to make me feel personally like I have my freaking feet either glued or nailed to the ground, and it feels like I almost can't cross the line or I can't move. But you still want to practice putting on balance. So me raising my leg helps me to go ahead and balance myself while making this putt because I'm extending. Now, if you're within circle one, obviously, right, you can't go over your putter. You know, you don't want to have a foot fault, a scratch, anything like that. You want to make sure that you're under full control in circle one, right? Anything outside of circle one, I believe that you can do like a step putt or jump putt or something like that. For me personally, I like to make sure that I just lift my leg up and give a full extension if I need it. If it's something that's outside of 65 feet, then I love to do what's called a hyzer putt. Or I'll do it all arm, okay? I don't do any step putt, any jump putts. And I feel like it's because my arm is strong enough. Now I done made, believe it or not, I done made 20-foot putts. Okay, long story short, I've made some pretty long putts, 100 feet out, 120 feet out, things like that, by doing these standstill putts of what I've been talking to you guys about. Some of you guys may have seen it in my shorts or whatever. I can make these long putts pretty much just standing and arming it, but that's just me. Not everybody's gonna do that. Some people like doing a step putt, jump putt, or whatever. That's just not my thing. Okay, let's go with another one that's kind of much longer. This one is much longer than the other one. This one I think is like I believe like 80 feet, probably more. Okay,
let's go.
Check it out.
Let's go.
Now this is the edited version, simply because I wanted to cut the video short for these clips. But before this, I did my follow through. I made sure that I did my follow through and got myself lined up. Okay, now look at this putt. Look at my release point. Okay, so that looks much higher than most people because most people like to go straight at it. If you notice, the disc is still on hyzer. This hyzer is so that I can ensure that once again, that this particular shot, I want it to fade toward the basket and stop somewhere within 10 or 15 feet, around the basket. Now, if I had a heavy headwind, then obviously it's dangerous. If I had like a right to left headwind, it's obviously going to this nose plate is going to be, the bottom plate is going to be exposed, and the wind is going to take it on that hyzer angle and it's going to push it way left. So you got to be careful with how you do certain things. Figure out what you got to do. Get a wind read. One thing that I recommend is just obviously always taking 2 putters with you if you can. Get it right, what you think you should do on the first one, and then the second one, make it or miss it. You make that adjustment. If there's no adjustment to be made, then you should make 2 putts in a row if you do everything the exact same way. If you find out that you're a little too low, have the second putter and do everything that you did right, but just bring up the height a little bit and you should make that putt. It's all about making an adjustment. So if you look at myself, my arm extends and my leg comes up.
Let's go.
Okay. Now this is a pretty far putt.
Let's go.
But look how confident I am with my angle and where I release the disc. Now, if you notice my body language in this putt, after I putt it, you don't see me kind of move my arm all weird and awkward because I was sure that the line that I put it on was probably going to land in the chains or somewhere at top of the cage or front of the cage or front of the band or whatever the case may be. I just knew that my putt was going to be on line. Okay, and that's just because of the angle that it's taking. I know that it's going to hyzer to the basket. That's a positive. My son tends to putt out of control. Now, he just turned 13 and he can make 50-foot putts, 60-foot putts, right? But a lot of the times that he get in his own head, he starts jacking a lot of his putts because, number one, he's not doing any routines, which I just got him on doing that now, and his putting and his accuracy is so much better now. He wasn't doing any routines, and he was more focused on just his initial form, but not following through after he putted. You know, you want to make sure that you are focused on a basket before you putt, during the putt, and after the putt. That means don't take your eyes off of the basket until the putter has either fell in the chains or fell in the basket or fell on the, fallen on the ground. Okay, in general, keep your eyes locked on that one spot and almost make it to where you go into hyper magnetic zoom with your eyes. You lock your eyes in. It's just you and that basket. Nobody else is out there. Lock your eyes on one particular spot and don't take your eyes off. Make sure you fully extend, fully follow through, fully commit, and you will make more putts, or your putts will be a little bit more accurate. Got a little distraction in the background. Now, even though I made this putt, you see me doing my routine, okay? All that extra bouncing and moving around, seeing me do that, that's just a little indecisiveness because now I see in my peripheral that there's a little girl out there on the course and it's kind of throwing me off, okay? Shout out to Dean and his daughter, Evelina. Check this out. That's a little indecisiveness. You don't want to be doing that a lot, you know, when you are about to putt. If you have to stop and reset, go ahead and reset and make the putt, okay? But don't force the situation. Let's do it again. Here we go. Now, even though I made this putt, let me tell you what I didn't like about this putt. I didn't fully follow through. Look how fast my arm came down. But that putt could have came out of the basket simply because I didn't fully extend, okay? I just kind of like tried to flick it in the basket. You want to reach out and shake hands with the basket, okay? You want to fully extend. Reach out and grab the basket. I know you heard me in one of my other videos talk about playing catch, okay? Yes, you want to play catch with the basket. So like when you play catch with your buddy, you're kind of just lobbing the football to him, right? But then once you start to get dialed in, that's when you start throwing those bullets at your teammate back and forth, because you now know that you guys are dialed in and you're throwing the football back and forth to each other. You trust your follow through, you trust your throw, you trust your bullet, you trust accuracy, you trust your lane, you trust exactly where you're gonna put that football on target. Same thing with disc golf, okay? Once you start getting a little more dialed in and confident of where you're releasing the putter, then you're going to make a lot more putts, okay? And that's just a circumstance to where I have here, but it's just me more so saying I'm just going to kind of flick it in there. But I need to be a little bit more, I guess you can say, putt with a little bit more authority. Like, I know this putt is going in. Not that was a little bit more of a, I know I'm online, but I don't necessarily know if I'm going to make it. No. All right, so funny video.
Oh, no.
I missed this putt. Super frustrating and embarrassing, okay? But look at the extension. Now, I'm not going to make any excuses, but I'm going to tell you guys a legit excuse, okay? I don't like to make excuses, but I'm just going to tell you what's legitimate to me. This is a jawbreaker roach, okay? I bought 4 more jawbreaker roaches, and none of them fly like my blue one, okay? My blue one is my bread and butter. I use that to putt all the time, and I have really hit some long, far putts with that putter. To me, I feel it's a little bit more snappier, and it kind of just drops down to the ground. It kind of falls out of the sky. This particular putter here is more glidey. I don't know what it is. No matter how close I am, no matter how much further away I am, this particular putter tends to glide more, and it tends to rise up the nose angle. So I tend to miss more putts or glide right over the basket with this putter versus if I put my blue one on the same line, then I'm able to smack the chains every single time, or the majority of the time, okay? I went through my routine and everything, guys, and I missed a putt. You know, that's really all I can say. I missed a putt. My blue putter tends to drop down. I know it sounds crazy, but I use this one more so to kind of throw and do turnover glidey shots. And my purple one, I just never throw it, period, okay? And I just don't feel like it's a good, or my blue one, I don't feel like it's a throwing putter. So I tend to basically use it for putting only. Now watch the recovery. Watch the recovery. Okay.
Well, mine's here for a bogey.
That's what I get. That's what I get for putting with a disc that I know for a fact I don't like putting with.
Oh, yeah.
I told you my pink one is just, dude, I'm not wrong. It's just more glidey.
Yeah?
It's just more glidey. If I would have been putted with this, it would have been online. This thing, for whatever reason, rises up.
Wow.
Okay, so now my buddy might think that, shout out to Ron, I doubt it. He might think that, oh, this guy's crazy. He's just making an excuse. He's just missing a putt, blah, 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 this and that. Anybody can think that, regardless. But I'm going to show you guys right now. This putt went over 60 feet out, okay? And I have to make a bounce back putt. Now check this out with this purple one, or my purple slash blue one.
Yeah. Dude, that's
awesome. How you fix that.
Yes.
That's
another great comeback putt, okay? But check this out. You can hear the snap. You can hear the snap out of my hand, right? Now this putter it's great at falling out of the sky. So when I putt with this thing, I make sure to put it at a high enough angle that I know it's gonna hyzer and drop down to the basket. My purple one from that, my pink one from that distance, if I would have shot that disc the same exact way, instead of actually falling out of the sky or falling out of the air, it would have just got glidey, kind of kept riding and just almost like a glitch. It's crazy the way that particular disc flies in general.
Dude.
But I know with
Gotta
this
go for it
particular
now, right?
putter,
Yeah.
I'm going to make a lot of long putts the majority of the time just because it feels right in my hands, okay? Same concept, a little short putt. Look at my putt. Look how I'm lined up. Look where my shoulder is, my arm is. It's lined up with the basket, and once I extend, I know I'm going to make this putt, okay? Because I'm right in line with the basket. My son has habits of putting to the, right at the basket all the time. I'm like, son, instead of trying to change something, don't change anything but your angle. If you're putting to the right of the basket all the time, adjust your angle slightly, just a little bit to the left by turning your arm and shoulder toward that basket. And once you extend, then your release point should go dead center into the chains. And a majority of the time, that's exactly what it does. The only time he starts to miss is when he starts to try to change something up, or there's like a hesitation in his follow through. If you guys pull down to your left hip or whatever, let's see where I pull mine down to. Look where I'm releasing the disc from, okay? I'm not into my belly. I am kind of, my left foot is back, my dominant foot is forward, and I'm kind of bending the disc downward into that hip area to where I can, I guess you can say, follow through the right way. So I'm up, I'm leaning back, and then I'm going to transfer that weight once my back heel comes up. But if you notice, the disc is out of my hand, and my back foot is still touching the ground. I tell my son all the time, you're missing your putts because you're lifting your back leg up before you go ahead and release the putter. And that forces him to hit the front of the cage or bend down too much and putt low every single time. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for the video. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. Do you think that this is worth making these type of adjustments when it comes to my putting? Guys, it has made my putting and my disc golf game on point. Okay, I've been hitting a lot of my personal records, neg 7 on some disc golf courses in general, just because my putting is really, really good for my first year in disc golf. Okay, I have already won 2 MA3 tournaments. I tend to compete really well with MA1 guys, MA2 guys. Now I want that to translate over to official tournaments so I can start getting better in disc golf. Okay, I'm still working on getting longer drives, but my putting and my upshots has been the bread and butter of my disc golf game, and I am going to be talking about that more in the future with my upshots. I've already covered my new form and drives off the tee. Now I'm doing the putting section. Next, I'm going to be talking about my upshots, which is by far the most important part of my game and the strongest point of my game. Okay, even though I can putt well, it has put me in a position to where my upshots are within 10 feet, sometimes touching a pole. I try to make it to where my upshots are really, really good. That way, 25-footer, no problem. 15-footer, no problem. Sometimes 35-footer, no problem, whatever the case may be. But I don't want to have to putt long, and you shouldn't want to have to putt long either. So if you work on your upshots will be on point. With that being said, guys, that's pretty much it for the video. If you enjoyed the video, leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. As always, if you're new to disc golf, pick up a disc, don't stress, and just throw it.